Have you ever had these experiences? You know perfectly well that scrolling short videos is bad for you, yet you still waste an entire day doing it. It isn't because you are lazy, nor because you willingly want to squander your time. It's because you accidentally triggered a certain mechanism and fell into a trap. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm here to break down that trap. During my students' years, I encountered many difficulties. Some of them felt impossible to get through, yet every time I somehow made it. Back then, there were no smartphones to help me release stress. I used the most primitive methods to motivate myself. For example, when I was in college, there was a course that was extremely difficult with a pass rate of less than 20%. So how did I pass it? On cold winter nights with a north wind howling. After a full day of studying at school, I would deliberately get off the bus earlier and walk several stops home. As I walked, I would shout loudly, "I am the best! Even if the whole world can't overcome this difficulty, I can. Nothing can stop me or crush me." That's how I pushed through the course. I passed it with a high score. Another time I needed to obtain a certification, something I had dreamed of for a long time, but I only had 2 months and had to study and memorize for thick textbooks. I had no choice. I quit my job and treated those 2 months as if they were full. I bought a pile of bread and sausages from downstairs to save cooking time and began living like an ascetic monk. Every morning, as soon as I opened my eyes, I studied non-stop for 13 hours. Sometimes I was so exhausted that I would fall into deep sleep the moment I sat on the couch. During that period, I had no social life and no entertainment. Only 2 days studying and sleeping. 2 months later, I passed the exam with a high score. I have many similar experiences from the past. They all started out extremely difficult. Yet each time I completed the goal successfully. Looking back, all those things I once thought would crush me, I got through every single one of them. Not because I was especially self-disciplined, and not because I was overly optimistic, but because when facing difficulties, there was no escape, only confrontation. So why it is that now, whenever I encounter difficulties, I procrastinate, retreat, and I doubt whether I can finish things on time? Because now I have comfort, and that comfort is the smartphone we all carry. When I face a problem, I scroll short videos to release stress, just like how men want to smoke or women want to eat ice cream to forget their worries. The result? The moment I pick up my phone, I trigger the mechanism and fall into the trap. Once I start scrolling, I can't stop. By the end of the day, I realize I've done nothing, and my stress is even greater. Avoiding difficulties is the natural human reaction. In the past, I had no way to escape reality. Now it's different. Once the mechanism is triggered, I can escape into the virtual world the phone provides. With just one swipe of my finger, I'm instantly trapped. The virtual world is dazzling and full of temptation. A short glimpse is never enough, and before I know it, most of the day is gone without me even realizing it. Scrolling short videos does in fact relieve stress immediately, but the problem is it doesn't relieve the difficulty itself. It only relieves the feeling of facing difficulty. Once I tap on the first video, it's very hard to stop. I always tell myself just 5 minutes to relax, then I'll deal with the problem. But once I'm hooked, I can no longer escape the fun spell. That just 5 minutes idea is a bad hook, and the fun is the tool of the crime. At the end of the day, the real test is still there. The result is time is gone, nothing's done, and the pressure hasn't disappeared. It's grown even bigger. This bad hook makes us afraid to face real difficulties and drags us into the virtual world. So how do we prevent ourselves from being caught by unnecessary hooks? The most direct method is to place obstacles in front of temptation. Don't give bad hooks any opportunity. We must understand that each of us is like Eve in the Garden of Eden, extremely easy and almost certain to be tempted by the snake. Once you understand this, you must stay away from the snake. I never use TikTok, but I can't quit WeChat short videos. I need WeChat to stay in touch with relatives in China, so I can't uninstall it. To avoid being hooked by WeChat videos, I put the app on an old phone and leave that phone in another room. Storage is full, it takes time to start, and I often forget to check it. As a result, I ended up watching 90% fewer short videos each day. So if you are also addicted to short videos and can't break free, you now know what to do, right? When you must cross a small barrier before scrolling, the hook naturally loses its power and many impulses simply disappear. However, if you must use your phone to get things done, you can control it with time boundaries. For example, I need 10 minutes to check the news, set an alarm. When time's up, you must stop. This can help preserve your daily productivity. Hooks aren't always bad. What is a good hook? The two stories I mentioned at the beginning. Shouting into the wind on winter nights was a hook that put me into facing reality. Quitting my job and buying a pile of food downstairs hooked me into the challenges that followed. So if you have something to do, you can also use tiny actions to hook yourself into your plan. Here I must mention someone Neil Isle, an American behavioral psychologist. He proposed the hook model, which explains how user habits are formed. For liberal arts students like me, it's a little bit complicated to explain, but one point I clearly understand is this. When doing something that looks difficult on the surface, start with the easiest, smallest action. That small action is a good hook. One netizen complained that he bought a gym membership but hardly ever went. His friend told him, "Tomorrow just try putting on your workout clothes." The next day he did. Then he thought, since I am already dressed, why not just go to the gym once? Later, he made it a habit to put on his workout clothes every day, And amazingly, he kept exercising for half a year. Another netizen shared his story. He wanted to become a YouTuber content creator, but struggled with time and energy. One day, he wrote just one sentence. Then he thought, since I have already started, why not continue and see what happens? So he kept writing. Now he has produced over 100 videos. He said, all he does every morning is write one sentence, and everything else follows naturally. That one sentence is a good hook. It may seem trivial, but it jumpstarts the entire creative process. What happens if a good plan has no good hook? I had a former colleague at a newspaper, an editorial director at a major publication. He wrote beautifully and had a rich life experience. By all accounts, he could have become a great writer, and he believed himself to be highly talented. He once listed a long series of writing plans. Years later, when I saw him again, those grand ambitions were still lying on paper, still just plans. Because he lacked a good hook. When busy, he entertained guests and socialized. When free, he drank tea and played chess. He never wrote a single word of his book. To sum up, we have learned that bad hooks put you away from real problems. Good hooks are so small they barely cost any willpower, yet they push you straight back into reality. Alright, now that we understand the importance of good hooks and the danger of bad ones, starting today for anything you wanted to do, just find the smallest possible first step you see as a positive hook. Let small action drive great momentum.